What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another showcase video. This is movie number 4 in our showcase journey through the MCU. And today we have Thor from 2011. And I know this one isn't really rated that good, and it's probably one of the more boring MCU movies, but nonetheless, this is how we met Thor and Hawkeye. So it is definitely essential to this journey and to the MCU in general. So without further ado, let's get into the figures. So the first figure in the showcase, which appears in the movie first, is Thor, of course. And to build him, I used the torso, arms, and hands from the Thor that came in the Avengers Quinjet set, based on the 2012 version. I think it came out in 2023, but it gave you that accurate Thor torso, and I think it looks good for this movie. I used one of the capes from the newer Thor, which have this plastic cape instead of the paper cape or the cloth cape. I used these legs from Sam Wilson's Captain America. Thought those got the boot printing down nice. And then I used the hair also from one of the newer Thors, which you get that like dirty blonde hair, and I think that looks good for a Thor 1 version of Thor. Next figure we have is S.H.I.E.L.D, and to build her I used the legs from Hawkeye from Age of Ultron, the newer iterations of him, and then the torso from Lady Thor, or Jane Foster's Thor from Love and Thunder. These arms from Scarlet Witch from the CMF Series 1. Tan hands, the head from Mantis, and then this hair that comes from Indiana Jones from Marion Ravenwood, and I thought that tied it all together for S.H.I.E.L.D. Next up we have Odin, and to build him I used the legs from one of the Iron Man armors that came in the Armory sets, and then I used the torso that came from Thor from 2012, and then these gold arms, which I got from C-3PO, but they've come on other places. Tan hands, this cape from one of the earlier versions of Thor from the 2012 sets, which got you that nice paper cape. And then I used the head from Old Man Luke Skywalker. Wait, no, not Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan. And then the hair from Doctor Who. Dr. Emmett Brown. I don't know why I'm confusing all these guys, but. And then I gave him the staff piece from Loki, and that ties Odin all together. Pretty simple figure, but a lot of parts needed. Next we have Thor's mom, Frigga, and to build her it was pretty simple. I used the torso from Marion Ravenwood, the same place we got the hair from Sif. White arms, tan hands, and then this dress piece, I don't really remember where it came from. The only place I remember is a Pick-a-Brick, which was probably 2021 when I went to the Lego store and got that, but don't know if they still have it in production or if it's come on regular figures, who knows. I used the head and hair from Princess Leia from the Rise of Skywalker sets. Thought that looked pretty good for her, and yeah, that is Frigga. Next up we have Hogun, Fandral, and Volstagg, which I thought I'd do all three of them together, since they are together for most of the movie. And I use, for Hogun, we'll start with him, I used the head from one of the clone troopers, this hair from Whiplash, so you get that nice ponytail piece there. And then I used the legs from Winter Soldier, the torso from Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible from the Dimensions line, and then hands to match the head. For Fandral, I used the legs and torso flipped around from Valkyrie, And then this shoulder piece from one of the, from Whiplash, where you got the hair from. And then I used the head from Aquaman. You can see mine's seen better days. And then the hair from Captain America or Star-Lord. And then for for Volstagg, I use the torso, arms, legs from the Mandalorian with tan hands, head from Thor, and then this hair from Obi-Wan to tie the look together. Next up we have Loki, and nothing to change here, just use the entire figure from the Avengers Quinjet from 2023 that came with the 2012 Avengers. Next up we have Heimdall, and to build him I used the torso and legs, torso flipped around from Gamora, and then the arms from C-3PO or wherever you can get gold arms from, reddish brown hands, the head from Star-Lord Black Panther from the CMF series, and then this gold headpiece, which is from Loki, which has been in many different sets. So that is Heimdall. Next up we have Laufey, and to build him I used the legs, torso, arms, and hands from Atuma, and the head from Hydro Man, which I thought that got the blue look together. He does have red eyes in the movie, but the only figure to have red eyes and a blue head is Cad Bane, and I do not have that figure as of recording, so this is the best I can do for Laufey. Next up we have Casual Thor from when he lands and meets Jane Foster on Earth. I used black legs, the torso, arms and hands from Owen Grady from Jurassic World, the head from Thor from the Ragnarok, Infinity War, and Endgame sets, and then this hair that's appeared on Thor, most common in the video game iteration of Thor from 2020. Next up we have Jane Foster and Darcy, and I used the torso, arms, and hands for Jane. I got that from one of the figures from Jurassic Park, Claire Dearing. Dark blue legs, the head from Padme from one of the younger Padmes, since she voices both Padme and Jane Foster, so thought that looked good. Brown hair, and then for Darcy, dark brown hair from America Chavez. Head from Harry Potter, which if you ignore the scar, it still looks good even though it's portraying a guy instead of a girl. I used the torso and legs from the bad guy from Jurassic World Dominion, forget his name. But yeah, that is Darcy and Jane Foster. Next up we have Eric Selvig, and to build him I used black legs, the torso and arms from MJ from No Way Home, tan hands, the head from one of the professors from Harry Potter, and then this light gray slicked back hair comes in Lego City. So yeah, that is Eric Selvig, and I know he already has a figure, but sadly I do not have the Avengers Tower, so this is the best I can do for Eric Selvig. Next up we have Agent Coulson, and if you've seen my other showcase videos, you would know I used the torso and legs from Agent Coulson, same with the hair, and then the head from Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne from The Batman. And he's the same as all my showcases, so wouldn't want to change him for this one. Next up we have Agent Sitwell, and to build him I use the torso, arms, and legs from one of the, I think it's the detective guy from Lilo and Stitch, forget his name. Tan hands on there, and then the head from Justin Hammer from the Marvel line of sets from 2017. And yeah, that is Agent Sitwell. Next up we have Hawkeye, and this is our first time seeing Hawkeye in the MCU if you watched it in release order. And to build Hawkeye I used the torso from Bucky Barnes from the 2017, maybe 2016 Civil War sets. Black arms, black hands. The legs that come on the Star Wars, one of the black troopers. And then this bow piece from Hawkeye from the CMF Series 2. Same with the head and hair, also come from that. And I think that looks good for Hawkeye. You could say the head works more for an older version, but I still think it looks good here, and that's why I used it for Hawkeye. Next up we have the Destroyer, and this was a fun one to put together, pretty easy. I used the torso and legs from Whiplash from his only appearance in LEGO from the Iron Man Armory, and then a black head underneath, and then a Mandalorian helmet piece, which I think ties it all together. You could also use, like, I've seen people use a Mini-Mates version. I think there's other, like, off-brand versions, but if you're going for just purist figures, those are the pieces you'll need to build the Destroyer. The next figure we have, in the last figure of the showcase, is Nick Fury from the post-credit scene, setting up Avengers. And for him, I just used the Nick Fury from the 2020 line of sets. I think 2021 as well, but I think that looks good, and that's the only Nick Fury I have in my collection, so I think it works best. And with the final figure done, we will wrap this showcase up, and I'll give you my final thoughts. Well guys, that was my showcase on the first Thor movie. It was an okay movie, I thought, and rewatching it, it still was the same, just not to the standards we have of Marvel today, but it did introduce Thor and Hawkeye, so that's what it's good for. Oh, and of course Loki, can't forget about him. But nonetheless, that was my Thor showcase, and stay tuned for next Wednesday, when we will showcase Captain America, the First Avenger. And I hope you guys like this showcase, and I'll see you on the next one.